Nature's Pulse. We released information on this, and Dan Fenn visited here several months ago, and he wanted to begin looking at the pulse rate for the lymphatic system. Now, the way this got started was Rodney from Florida, from Frequency Protocol Services, he released a program for migraine headaches. And when Dan ran that program, he could feel his lymphatic system starting to drain. And he knew it was the pulse rate. So him and I have been playing with that pulse rate for about 2 years to see if we can even fine-tune it more. And I remember he told me, he says, I don't know what Rodney's been doing over there, but he says he's got something going on with his pulse rate, and it's different. So this tube came in. Dan came in to take a look at this. We attached it to the hyperdrive circuitry, which upped the power 64 times. He says, I want to play with this pulse rate. And we started playing with it in 1 hertz increments. We did a pulse of 12 originally with a duty of 35, meaning it was on 35% of the time, but it would pulse 12 times per second. And I first fired that machine up, and Dan's frequency sensitive. He says, this is bizarre. He says, I can feel it in my legs from the knees down. I upped at 1 hertz. He could feel it from this area. 1 more hertz, the 14, it hit that area. And all the way on up. And this is very exciting because apparently we can stimulate different portions of the body by changing the pulse rate. It's like sending a letter. Right now, your standard programs basically, if you look at it like mail, it's delivering to the zip code 49004. But if you want to deliver to the address, actually one of the houses, a specific location, you can do it with this. So, for example, I'm dealing with someone that has a head cold, and it's just in the head area. It hasn't got into the lungs. You can change the pulse rate to 16 to 36.3, and it will actually start isolating that area primarily. Not meaning it doesn't hit anything else, but it's like it turns on something there. Now, to kind of help you validate the effectiveness of this, it's not just what Dan's feeling. I got a guy, he's a young kid, he's paralyzed from the waist down. He was involved in a 4-wheeler accident, rolled over on him, busted his back, and his dad got one of our systems. And we're running stimulate healing of nerves on him. And his dad called me, he says, we're really not seeing anything going on with this, but of course, if nerves can regenerate at all, it's going to be very slow, if it could at all. We plugged in Nature's Pulse to get into the spine area, so we did a 14 to 36.3 because that's where the brakes are at. Do you know during that entire program, both legs will start twitching? And he has no feeling down there. The bridges are out. But he says his dad will watch him, and it freaks the kid out because he's never had any movement in those legs. And they'll twitch during that session if we change that pulse rate. So if I was dealing with someone for a heart condition, Dr. Myers and I were talking about Linus Pauling's research, and the heart blockage program actually talks about his research with proline and vitamin C and lysine. Well, if you change the pulse to 15 to 36.3, I'm actually directing all my energy, as far as the body's concerned, to the area of the heart. Now you've got that chart there, but within the programs themselves, we've tried to do as much work as we can for you, but we can't do it all because you have to evaluate the client. Some cold and flu bugs are from the neck up. Some are in the chest area. Some are in both. So do you really want to do the Nature's Pulse to direct it if it's kind of all over the place? This is called Nature's Pulse, this folder. And you notice, look at these programs like asthma. That's a chest problem, a lung area problem primarily. It could affect some of the head, but we're the pulse rate is already in there. So if you go into this folder versus the regular asthma program, you're going to already have this work done for you. Whenever you see a V by a program, see this one doesn't have a V, that one does. V means validated. That's your best choice. So, you've got two choices. Take the one with the V first. Same way with back pain. If it's lower back pain, see, he's got Nature's Pulse in there. Usually it's in the lumbar area. So it's already been done. Cold sores, we're up in the head area. We're running Nature's Pulse, probably a pulse of 16 to 36.3. Look at Crohn's, colon problems. See, Nature's Pulse, we're dealing with a specific area in the bowel. So you see how these fit? Eye floaters, we're up here in the head area. So this folder's been built. Liver support, lung infections, hypothyroid, hyperthyroid. So this is a new way of delivery. You may have a program that you found didn't really do much, but when you add that pulse rate, it could be totally different. The way that package is delivered.
So when we open it up under Nature's Pulse, it already is worked in.
Exactly. These are already done for you. And there's hundreds of them that have been done. If I scroll down here. But you'll see here again by the description that these are areas of the body that are specific areas. They don't encompass the entire body. But if you're getting into some cancers, well, if the cancer hasn't metastasized and it's isolated to one area, so you could put a Nature's Pulse on our cancer recovery folder program. Let's say it's prostate cancer or breast cancer, or it's a glioblastoma. I've got somebody with a glioblastoma, a brain cancer. We're taking that same program, but we're putting that pulse rate in because I want to direct everything for the head to receive it. But we can't create that here, other than, you've got a breast cancer one here because it's obvious. But our general cancer protocols, only you know where the cancer is. A lot of it's an adenocarcinoma. The question is, where is it? Now, if it's metastasized, there's no point in putting Nature's Pulse and leave our standard pulse rate because it's everywhere. See? But if it's a primary area, that's what the reason is for these things. Same way with, like I said, you get these head colds. It's all in the head from the neck up. Put that pulse rate in and see what happens. You might be surprised at the difference. Okay, let me back over here. Now you can hyperdrive Nature's Pulse. If you click the subfolder here for hyperdrive, it'll run that pulse rate, but it'll move the harmonics up to give you more energy. So, you've got that option too as well.